Thank you for watching, and remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, Tevin, of course, we've needed the rain so badly out west, and it's like if it's not one problem, it's another. Thanks so much, Tevin. We'll talk to you soon. So let's talk a little bit more about that storminess that we have out west and the threat that it's going to cause, the threat that it's already causing this morning. So here's part of the problem. Of course, as we've talked about, we were dealing with terrible drought conditions, and we were just dry for so long. So the fire season, really not much of a season anymore, it kind of was continuous. We saw these very large fires burning, the Dixie Fire sparking in mid-July. Of course, devastating the town of Greenville there in the Dixie Fire. And that's where we still have those burn scars overlaid with the rain and snow that we're going to see. You can see here on the eastern slope of the Sierra, we are seeing maybe 8 to 12 inches of rain over some of those areas of the burn scars, and that's so problematic. So we do have these flood watches and flash flood watches up across Northern California, Redding down through Sacramento, the Sacramento Valley. And then what's also exacerbating this is the difference in terrain. So you've got your coastal ranges here in Northern California. So in the upslope region there, you're getting even heavier rain wrung out. And then we're still getting the rain across the valley areas. But then again, as we get to the upslope region or the western portions of the Sierra, then you're getting another round of that very heavy rain that's getting wrung out of the atmosphere. So it's just problematic all the way around, Paul. And as you can see here, that the atmospheric river is in full effect at this point.
Yeah, we want it rain, but
Monday, as the system moves eastward with that risk for severe weather. So here's what's going on. You see it here, that warm, moist air as that frontal system makes its way eastward. We are going to have a new surge of moisture from the Gulf behind that. Directly behind it across the East Coast, we do get a brief break of drier air just behind it. But for tomorrow, we do have that risk for severe weather through the mid-Atlantic, stretching down into the southeast. Cities like Charlotte, Knoxville, Roanoke, you're included in that. You've got the risk for damaging wind gusts and also some hail, but an isolated tornado can't be ruled out either. So let's take a look at it. Here's Monday morning. You'll notice we've got some coastal action going on, and then we also have our frontal rain moving through Knoxville and then eventually pressing its way into the western Carolinas as we head through Monday afternoon. But watch how this segment kind of blooms as it moves through Virginia. Richmond, you're going to get in on that. D.C. area, you guys are going to have some of that activity around later in your Monday, and then all of this continues to push offshore, and you get a little bit of a break. So here's our plume of moisture tonight. It's stretching through the Mississippi Valley across portions of the Ohio River Valley, and then by tomorrow you can see that filling in farther eastward. Well, we're just getting started on around portions of the region yesterday, but today, especially tonight, is going to be kind of the grand finale because it's going to be a lot of rough weather.
Yeah, don't think that the storms you had yesterday and last night overnight or that's it, because look at the bullseye. Smack dab over much of Missouri into downstate Illinois, parts of northern Arkansas, St. Louis, Springfield. You're all of this. So is Columbia. And our Torcon scale in terms of risk of tornadoes from 1 to 10. We have 2, 3, even 5, including you in St. Louis as we head through this evening.
Yeah, so right now we've got no storms reaching severe limits with the exception of a flash flood warning, but we do have heavy rain. We've got quite a bit of lightning that's lifting up towards Chicago at this point. Kansas City, you're getting a little bit of a break in it. But here's the thing. These storms are not reaching severe limits. The storms later on will reach severe limits. And what does that mean? That means we could have wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. In fact, 80 miles per hour possible, hail, and also that risk for tornadoes like we talked about.
Yeah, rain hit Chicago by lunchtime, hit and miss towards the early evening hours, but look at the lines of showers and thunderstorms. This model saying perhaps a couple of different lines blasting on through St. Louis and pushing eastward as well. This is where the strong severe storms, and they could possibly produce some tornadoes, will roll through even after the sun is down. 10 o'clock, we're seeing a line still blasting on through the Boot Hill.
Yeah, that's right. So I know a lot of people use their Sundays to prepare for the upcoming week. So just know that if you have any of those errands that you typically run, maybe on Sundays you head out to the grocery store or something of that nature, you're going to be dealing with storms in these areas, so you're going to want to plan around. We've got plenty of fuel for that thunderstorm development as those air masses clash and that front moves through. But we also have support. A strong low-level jet is going to help organize those storms and keep them alive and keep them going.
Yeah, so lines of strong and severe thunderstorms continue to move on through the area this evening with different shear zones setting up. So it's not just strong damaging winds. We're also looking at large areas dealing with those winds, straight line winds, not to mention the risk for tornadoes as we head overnight tonight.
River shifting, Tevin. Thanks so much. But problematic regardless because of the burn scarred, particularly, well, I mean, problematic in general, but particularly because of the burn scars that we have here across Northern California. You can see the scars here highlighted, the Monument Fire, adding to that the Dixie Fire, the Caldor Fire. We're already starting to have some reports of debris flows, mudslides near Highway 70 earlier this morning there near Greenville. Of course, Greenville, one of the cities that was just devastated by the Dixie Fire earlier this summer. So here's what we're looking at, and you can see especially some of these higher totals as you look at the upslope side of the Sierra Nevada, and that is because not only are you getting this atmospheric river focused there, but also as you kind of shove that rain and shove that flow up those mountains, well, it just kind of wrings out all of that moisture, and you end up with really high rainfall totals. So here's what we're looking at in terms of flash flood and flood watches across Northern California, down through the 5, Sacramento, Tahoe City. You guys are included in that, and look at this. This is not just light rain that we're talking about, guys. This is some heavy rain. Some of the recent observations coming in from Sacramento, you guys have had these winds gusting upwards of 35 miles an hour, visibility down to about 2.5 miles in front of you. The roads are wet, ponding on the roadways, so it's already weather conditions that you don't want to be out and about in, but it's going to continue to worsen as this rain continues to fall. We are going to see flash flooding here along that 80 corridor between Sacramento and Reno, especially where you get in those places that we have those burn scars. So why are the burn scars more prone to flooding? Well, there are a couple different reasons. One of those reasons is that the burn scars are left without vegetation, and the vegetation tends to help soak up some of that water, but the burned soil can kind of act as pavement, so it acts as repellent before the water acts as a solvent and actually gets down in it. The rainfall that would normally be absorbed, it runs off, and that increases that flooding threat. Now, Paul, we've been talking a lot about the rough weather in the west, but we also have the chance